Hey there, it's JohnBerry555, and the video you're about to watch is a compilation of 3 videos I made back in 2018. These videos are still on my channel. I decided I will put them together since the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy is, well, a trilogy. I thought it would be fitting to have a compilation. I've been doing normal compilations like when a series I'm watching is done, so I figured, hey, let's go back in time and do that with some of my older content as well. I do hope you enjoyed this compilation. The videos are pretty much going to be as was, though I have made some adjustments. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, let's just get right on into it. It's a compilation of my reviews of the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy by Chuck Wendig. Today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. What did I think of the book? It was okay. It was a good read. It's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite either. So yeah, if you haven't read it yet, you don't necessarily have to read it. I wouldn't encourage you to go out and buy it. But if you do see it at your public library, consider checking it out. If you have like a free trial to Audible or something, consider trying it out. That's all I can say. If you can get it for free or come across it for free, library some other way, I would then say, yes, you go ahead and read it or listen to it if you want audiobook. But if you haven't read it and you're leery about, and I would not say go out and buy it, kind of thing. But yes, so now that I got that out of the way, I'll give you my rating. 3 stars out of 5. Pretty quickly, but yeah, it's a good book in that, but it's not a great book. I'm not highly recommending it. Does that make sense? So yeah. A couple of things I just want to go over about the book. I mean, one Easter egg I noticed is that in one of the chapters, actually I think it's one of the interludes, they mention a character from the Clone Wars. So in one of the interludes, they actually mention Cut Lowen. So Cut, he was the clone trooper that deserted the clone army in the Clone Wars that Captain Rex came across but said nothing about. And that goes back to my theory that Captain Rex's inhibitor chip never properly worked. So yeah, they mentioned Cut Lawrence, and it sounds like he's still alive at the time of Aftermath, which is, I think, 6 months to a year after Return of the Jedi. So yeah, so the fact that he's alive, he's referred to as being old, but the fact that he stayed his life does make me think that Captain Rex could still be alive by the time of Return of the Jedi. Don't know for sure, but that would be cool. But I doubt it. I really do. I don't know if I doubt it. I would like it, but I'm rambling there. But yeah, I do think it's kind of neat how they mentioned that there's at least one clone still, or who appears to still be alive at the time of Return of the Jedi, which I think is pretty neat, because I think most of the others probably, if they went phased out by the Empire, died in combat. So yeah, I do consider that pretty neat. Now, to the other stuff I always saw in my reviews, there's not too much else I want to talk about in the book. I did kind of find the how it went from the main story to these interlude chapters. I did find that kind of annoying. Granted, those interludes I think provided more interesting Easter eggs, and a few interludes that I connected to a previous or another one. So that was kind of nice, but the interludes as a whole, I really did not care for them. Like, if you took the interludes out, the book would be probably 3/4 its current length. It's like, okay, you wanted your book to be so long that you added these bunch of stories that had no bearing on the main storyline of the book. It's like, really? It doesn't help you at all. Now, there was a few that you could say connected a bit more. The stuff regarding with Monza, that stuff actually I think fit pretty good into it. Like, but some of the stuff didn't fit too well. Some of the interludes, they could have taken them out, but some of them I would have kept. The ones with Monza, those probably I would have kept. I think there was 1 or 2. But yeah. So yeah, anything I would change besides taking out those interludes? Not too much. And really, so interludes are really how they detracted from the story that really affected my rating of Aftermath. It really lowered it down. If it wasn't for it, if it wasn't for those interludes, I think I would have given this book at least 3.5 stars, if not 4 stars. But those interludes just detracted from the book too much for me. Some of the if it was, those interludes would have been nice. If like they had a Star Wars Aftermath short stories kind of thing. Like, here's the stuff that happens after, and here's a bunch of short stories, like, right afterwards. That would have been a good place for the interludes, not mixed in with a main storyline. And I am actually kind of getting used to the fact how there's, like, 2 characters they're always focusing on in the book. I'm getting used to that in these new Star Wars chapter books. The new canon ones, because I'm more used to the old Legends ones, which I may be reviewing in the future once I get caught up on the Star Wars current novels. So thank you for watching my review. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Hey there, so today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt by Chuck Wendig. So this is the second book in the Aftermath trilogy. After this I'll be reading the Star Wars Aftermath Empire's End. So, Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt. As I said, it's the second book in the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy, and I really just wanted to say that I don't think I liked it as much as I liked Aftermath, and I feel like I'm gonna like Empire's End a little better. But that's only my prediction, you can call it. So exactly what I just didn't care for it as much as I did Aftermath. I found some parts of it were better, but overall some of it just wasn't as good in my opinion as some of the other Aftermath, as the first Aftermath book was. So there's that. So you're probably wondering now at this point, how do I rate it? Well, I've decided to give it 2.5 stars out of 5. So that is actually a respectable position, gotta say. So not the best position, but still pretty respectable for most regards, because 2.5 is half of 5 after all. Numerically half. Even though when you do the rating, yeah, I think it's about halfway. But yeah, 2.5. That's kind of how I feel on it. Not as good as Star Wars Aftermath. It's okay, good read, just not as good. And what would I change about it? I honestly don't know. As always, I do this, but sometimes it's hard to say what would I change. There's definitely some things I would change about it. I just don't necessarily know what they are. Things I would take away. Definitely, there's probably too many small things to mention. Yeah, that's really about it. Nah, there's some things. Yeah, I just didn't care for as much. Not so much. It's not the small things I probably would change and take away and add, but there's almost too many of them. So yeah, there's that. But anyhow, thank you for watching this review. If you liked it, please leave a like. Hey there. So today I'm going to be reviewing another book. Unlike normal books which I read, this one I actually listen to, so I listen to the audiobook of it as well. Star Wars Aftermath Empire's End. So this book was written by Chuck Wendig. It's the last book in the Aftermath trilogy. So just some general, I actually enjoyed listening to it as an audiobook. I was kind of leery. I still think I prefer reading books myself, because I just like that physical sensation of turning pages, the smell of a book. But I was actually quite surprised at how well I enjoyed listening to the audiobook. I liked how they added sound effects and the music. It made it feel that much more cinematic. But I think I still prefer reading myself, because it allows more of your own imagination to imagine the world. The audiobook limits what the hearing, that voices you think of characters are not the voices that are used in the audiobook kind of thing. Your what you think the battle in the background sounds like, not quite so much. And then of course the music itself just helps convey some nice mood. If anything, I think would be neat if someday they could develop technology where you can read a regular book but it plays accordion music in the background. Granted, they would need to access your brainwave so they know where you are in the book, but that would just be a way to help enhance the experience in some way. Yeah, I'm trying to read them. Like a movie, like if I ever watched a movie based off a book, I often like to read the book, especially first, and then watch the movie. But that's kind of off topic. But I still think it can go with audiobooks as well. You read the book, then you listen to the audiobook. But I did not read Empire Then. I listened to it. I could have read it, but I thought I'll give it a try as an audiobook. The story part, I actually enjoyed it decently. I do think it being an audiobook might have enhanced my experience of it, because the Aftermath trilogies, I can say, I were not my favorite Star Wars books of late. Not, they're still pretty good, just not my favorite. Though I do think the audiobook enhanced it. So yeah, I think, so of the Aftermath trilogies, I might say this one's my favorite, but then again, I enjoyed it in a different format. So that is probably influencing what I thought of it. While I'll say this is my favorite, I'll give it a higher rating, probably. Because of, I think I consumed it in different media just simply means that I can't quite give it the same, I just can't compare it properly to the other Aftermath trilogy books. It would be essentially unfair. I'm probably not going to give it the same rating that I had given Aftermath or Aftermath Empire Then for a fact, and I won't. And you know why? Because I'm going to review my rating right now. I'm giving Star Wars Aftermath Empires and a rating of 3.5 stars out of 5. I considered 4 stars, but I decided not to. But it's still more than the 3 stars I gave the other books. But I'm giving Empire Then 3.5 stars. I don't know what else I can say about it too much. I said a lot of what I thought about my experience with it and all that. Yeah. But yeah, I would encourage you though to definitely read it or listen to it if you have not done so yet. So yeah. Anything I would change, add, or take away? I'm honestly not too sure about that. And meaning I really don't know for sure. I think there's some things I would add. I would want to, at the very end of the epilogue, I would have liked to see them to at least say that the ship that they ended on, that the Imperialists landed on the Eclipse. It's implied, but I would love for them just to have said that. Like, how, because I just finished it before recording this video, but like, how it ends and then, it goes with whatever they said, because I'm trying to remember now. That's one problem with the audiobook. You can't go back and look at specific moments, but it's, it was something along the line of something, it was Sloane, like from Sloane's perspective, and the empire that the First Order was to rebuild the empire, her empire, and something like that. And then Huck said, "Glory to Grand Admiral Sloane," and Sloane responded, "Not glory to the empire, no glory to me, glory to the empire that you think's my empire." I would love, like, essentially right after that, where it's where a line going some like the Imperialists landed on the eclipse. Simple, that's all. I know, just a sentence saying that they landed. I don't know why, I just wanted it. I feel like that would have been an even better conclusion to the story than how they ended it. Kind of like it leaves it does leave it a little open ended, but it's like you get like, did they actually make sure they land on the ship? Which we know they did. But I just would have loved, I don't know why, that's just something I would have wanted to see. But that's kind of off topic in a sense, besides the point, and it's kind of minute. That's really it, I would have to say. So yeah, that concludes my review for Star Wars Aftermath Empire's End. Now that was a trip down memory lane. That was back when I actually maintained a separate book review channels when those videos were first made, and then I re-uploaded them to my main channel not too long after I initially uploaded them there. But man, my content has certainly changed a lot in basically, let's just say, the 5 years since these came out. So that, yeah, I'm still saying a lot, but not as much as I used to. And I have a much, much better microphone. And really, looking at the last stuff I was saying about Empire Zen, I was like, man, here's me complaining about leaving it open-ended. And nowadays, I'm like, that's actually a good ending. Having that mystery at the end, that is such a good ending. But 2018 me, maybe even 2017 me, probably thought a bit differently about that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's nice seeing a little bit of growth on my part, but man, sitting through this, re-editing those videos was hard. Almost makes me want to go check those books out, reread them, and record a brand new review of them. I've been going through and, updating my thumbnails, and re-watching those was like, man, maybe I shouldn't update these so I can, create new videos of them. But you know what? This is a time capsule of my channel. And kind of taking a look back was a nice little reflection on it, on how I've improved, on how certain things I still need to work on. But yeah, it was just a nice look back on my review, so you can, just see how I've changed, especially if you're a more recent viewer and you haven't seen my old content. You can appreciate what you have now, because I've certainly grown as a content creator. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this review compilation. There was not that much effort besides me listening to my own voice for a while and re-editing the worst parts of the reviews out, and especially in terms of pauses and ums and stuff that just wasn't relevant to the videos anymore. But one thing I do want to say is, let me know in the comment section, what are your thoughts on the Aftermath trilogy? Overall, I think I have a much better opinion of the Aftermath trilogy now than I did after I read the books originally. And I do think that is partially because as I've seen more of the Star Wars stories being told, I've become a better consumer of media, better able to analyze what's going on, recognizing more of, for that better term, plot beats and how those things affect each other. I think I'm just a better reviewer doing it 5 years. Has, I think, definitely over 5 years actually have definitely improved my skills in that regard. So I do think if I had to re-review these and give them a new rating, I think all of them would be at least 3 stars now. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this review compilation. This little bit of a retro review at the very end. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to give this video a like, a vote, and share. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.